Good morning. I am Kim Rayner from All About Spirit, and I want to welcome you to episode 36 of All About Spirit's Life After Cancer. And in some ways it's really hard for me to believe that I am filming episode 36 of this show. And today's episode is called Cured, Healed, or Transformed. And when you get a cancer diagnosis, it impacts every aspect of your life. It touches your physical life, your emotional life, your spiritual life, your relationships with your friends and your family, your work relationship, your relationship to your body, and sometimes your relationship to spirit. And when I was going through my cancer treatment, I struggled with finding support, the kind of support that I needed to be able to walk through this process. Hi, Mike. Welcome. Thanks for joining this morning. I struggled with trying to find my way of being able to deal with cancer and the changes that were going on in my life. So I created this show to help people who also might be struggling with finding the right kind of support. I wanted something that was action-oriented, that dealt with the spiritual aspect of things, and where we talked about more than just our problems with cancer. So that's what this show is all about, and welcome for those of you who are back again, and for those of you who've never been here before. So, like I said, this is episode number 36, and the name of this episode is called Cured, Healed, or Transformed. And this episode came about because you may have seen the video that I posted last week where, good morning, you may have seen the video that I posted last week of the caterpillar that was transforming into its chrysalis. And it really made me think about the whole process of walking through cancer. And there were three really distinct components of my cancer journey. And they really had to do with being cured, being healed, and then being transformed. And that really is the life that a butterfly takes on, or a monarch takes on, as it's walking through its process of life in its very short period of time on the planet. So when we talk about being cured is really what the doctors do. That's the part that they take care of. They have the medical training. They teach us, they actually treat us. They take care of the healing part, or the cured part of our body. And by definition, cured means to relieve a person or animal of the symptoms of a disease or a condition. And when you think about that, that really is what the doctors do. They're medically trained. They understand what the symptoms are. They know how to treat the symptoms. And if you use other alternatives, alternative medicine or complementary medicine, if you're going to an acupuncturist, they know what meridians to treat depending on what kind of healing that they're trying to do for you. They know, they know the physical components. So it's like you turn to an external source, or I turned to an external source to help me with the cured part, or the remission part of my disease. I looked for something outside of me to be able to help facilitate that part of the process. And when it came to healing, and I have the definitions here, to be healed is to become sound or healthy again. So that is like there's a transformation that takes place during the process of being cured. When they're doing the medical treatments, there is healing that goes on. Certainly the healing on the physical aspect of my process. But there's also this internal healing that has to go on. And nobody else can help me with that. There isn't anybody that can take charge of that part of my process. That healing part has to occur with my willingness, with my participation, and a lot of that has to do with my attitude about my cancer. A lot of it had to do with my beliefs and the thoughts and the ideas that I held and even continue to hold about what it means to be Kim on the planet, and what it means to be a healthy person on the planet, and what do I expect of my medical team, and what do I expect of the people around me to be able to facilitate this this healing process that I'm hoping to undergo. And that part, I had varying degrees of willingness to participate in that. Sometimes I was really cognizant and really willing to step in and do the work that I was being asked to do, or the stuff that was being suggested I do, like eating a healthy diet, pushing myself to exercise, even though exercising was often the last thing that I wanted to be doing, drinking enough water, doing things to help detox my body to get the cancer cells out, and to get the other toxins that were out from the chemo, and just to heal myself. So there was a participation factor that had, on my part, that had to take place if I really wanted to be healed. And then the piece that really hit me with this, and it has to do with the butterfly part, it's the transformation part. And by definition, transformation says to make a thorough or dramatic change in form, appearance, or the character of. And that was the part where I really got to step back into my life. That's the part where I got to take a look around and say, okay, what is it that I really want for myself? Do I want to continue on living the life that I have always lived? Or do I want to take this cancer experience and use it as a wake-up call, to use it as a way to say, wow, what I've been doing hasn't been serving me very well. It hasn't worked for me very well. I'm not very satisfied with what's going on in my life. And how do I start to unpack some of that stuff? I think it was Einstein that said, that our mind can't possibly solve a problem that it's created. And in the process of my life, I developed ideas about what it means to be Kim, and I developed ideas about what it meant to be healthy and successful. And those ideas, in some ways, they really helped me become a better me, and in other ways they restricted me, and they tied me down, and they helped block me from opportunity and from reaching my full potential in a lot of different ways. So how do you start to unpack that if you don't? Hi, Serena. Thanks for being here. How do you start to unpack that when you're looking at your life and you're trying to figure out what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? And I really couldn't figure that stuff out on my own. I needed to have some help to be able to unpack that, because the ideas that I hold, the ideas that I hold close to my heart are the ones that are going to become the trajectory for my future. So if I'm walking around and I'm feeling like, I hate cancer, I hate my life, I hate going to work, I hate the way I feel, if that's the place that I'm spending all my time, then how am I going to create a future that is bright, and a future that is hopeful, and a future that is helpful to other people? So the work that I really do is to help people when we're in that stage, when we're in that place that says, I don't know if I can do this for one more day. I don't know if I want to do this for one more day. We start to take a look at that stuff and we unpack that. And we can do that in a lot of different ways. One of the ways that we do it is by looking at what is the physical disease. And I've talked about this before. I had ovarian cancer. And according to Louise Hay, ovarian cancer is hardened bits of anger. So I started to look at what are the things that I'm angry about, and how do I transform that? How do I heal from that? And in order to actually walk through that process, there were a lot of times that I had to get back in touch with that anger. I had to get back in touch with that hurt and those feelings to really be able to get in there and to clean them out. So my invitation for you is to find a way to settle in, to say, okay, the doctors are responsible for what the doctors are responsible for. My acupuncturist is responsible for what my acupuncturist is responsible. I'm responsible for where everything goes after that. I'm responsible for my attitude about this. I'm responsible for my transformation. They might be responsible for administering the drugs and helping with the cure. But I'm the one that has to step into the healing process. I'm the one that has to step into the transformation. And that part is going to be uncomfortable. If you got to watch the video that I did last week about the caterpillar transforming into its chrysalis, that little guy worked. He struggled to get from where he was into his new and transformed form. And it's not different for us. If we expect that it's just automatically going to be, peaches and cream and easy, that's not the truth. It's a setup for ourselves, and it makes the process even harder. If we can get into the space that says, wow, this is where I am right now, this is where things are, and I am going to relax into it for a moment, and then I'm going to start to say, okay, what do I want it to look like at the end? What do I want to look like as I walk through this process? What do I want this to feel like? And we can start to set some intentions for ourselves. And we can start to say things like, oh, you know what? For the next hour, I'm just going to be present, and I'm going to be the best me that I can be in the hour that I'm here. And I'm going to see where that takes me. I'm going to see where that goes. And little by little, when we start to put together little segments like that, little by little, we start to build a new and transformed life for ourselves. So I have, one of the things that I do each year is I take monarch butterflies, and I've talked about this before, and I help them in their transformation process to be able to get from the caterpillar state to an adult butterfly, and then to set them out into the wild, because the butterflies need help. And the transformation process is so similar to what we go through when we go through cancer. The little egg is laid, and it spends a period of time in that little nestled and cocoon state. And that's what the beginning of cancer feels like. It feels like I need to nestle in, I need to get into this little tiny state of protectedness. And then once I emerge from that, then I do my first struggle. And then I'm on a plateau for a little while. And then I turn into the chrysalis and I do my next struggle. And then I spend time in hibernation again. And then I am going to emerge as the butterfly. And that too is going to be a struggle. And if I can remember that there are going to be struggles, there's going to be challenges along the way, and to not let it derail me, not let it shock me, not let it throw me off guard and pull my feet out from under me, that's really helpful for me. So I'm going to post another video later, probably later this week. I have some eggs that are getting ready to hatch, and I'll post a video of what a caterpillar or an egg looks like as it's preparing and getting ready to hatch. And I'll put that on my Facebook channel so you can watch what that feels like or looks like as well. And again, my invitation to you is to take this process and use it as an invitation. Use it as an invitation to spirit to say, okay, this is a wake-up call. What do I want to transform into? What parts of me need to be healed? What parts of me need to be cured? So I hope that you found something in here that's helpful today, and I hope that you make it a great day. Thanks.